And it's Monday. Good morning, Jim, Vicky, and Jenny. Woo! Uh, so we're when we head into the new year, we're going to come up with a new format for Mondays. We'll reveal it at the beginning of the year, but yeah, the first Monday of the year. I think yeah, we can do that. Like it's hard to think that far ahead. You know what? Christmas is next week.
Yeah.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Did you guys know that Christmas is next week? You know what else? We're supposed to have all of Mom's presents wrapped before she comes home tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta get on that.
Guess what we're going to be doing tonight? We're going to have Mega Wrap Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I stole Mega from something Hillary said earlier. So we're gonna reboot. We're gonna find a kind of reformat. Gosh, that's another computer term. That's a pretty drastic thing. Reformatting is pretty big.
Yeah.
But we're going to reformat Mondays, and we'll reveal that after the holidays. So, gosh, Tuesday's Christmas Eve.
Yeah. This week should be pretty chill.
Yeah, well, This is like is it the calm before the storm? I don't want to say storm when we're celebrating the birth of Jesus, but it's like maybe the stretching before the marathon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it'll be fun. So we got to make sure we're ready for Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we got next Monday to finish getting ready for that
Christmas
too. But
Day.
yeah, Christmas Eve service, Christmas Day service. We still have one more Sunday before Christmas. So
the office is only open on Monday next week.
yeah, Monday next week, and then Monday, Tuesday the week after that. Yeah. So he's glad to see you on Mondays. Were you afraid I kicked Hope off?
No, it says glad to see your dad has some adult supervision.
Right, but he says morning Hope. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need all the help I can get. I don't know if it takes a village, but I know it takes a church, at least for me. So gosh, got all that. This week should be kind of chill. I'm scared to say that out loud. And then next week the office is open Monday, and then we have the service Tuesday and Wednesday, and then the office will be closed. It's closed Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The next week will be open Monday, Tuesday.
They close the rest of the week.
Then close Wednesday, Thursday. It's kind of hard when the holidays like that hit in the middle.
Yeah.
So that means next year, Christmas and New Year's will be on Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You had to think about that. Huh?
Yeah.
We skipped one because this is leap year. I don't know if you guys remember. I guess I was on vacation. Not vacation. I was on sabbatical during leap year this year. That's why I kind of missed that. I was like, that didn't seem to be a big deal for me because I was hiding out in the cabin.
Yeah.
So lots of cool stuff happening and going on. Mentioned this yesterday. One of the ways that you can find out one of the things I want to do in this year, and it helps that Hope is working for the convention, but to get our church more connected with things that are happening around our state, in our state convention. And so gobnm.com is a good way to do that. You can go there, and if I remember right,
it's like a tan box.
Yeah, kind of, and it's over on the right.
Email in.
Yeah, kind of down toward the middle.
And you have to. It'll send you a confirmation email, but after you get that done, you're set.
And it's all done. Yeah.
And it's just a good way. You hear about like disaster relief, what's going on in New Mexico, the churches, the
State Convention, Evangelism Conference,
the New Mexico Children's Home.
Right now, Lottie Moon.
Yeah.
And I just, it snuck past me.
Yeah.
The Lottie Moon Christmas offering. And it was really cool. You put like a little post on Lottie Moon's birthday.
Yeah. So I am, for those who don't know, I'm the social media and websites multiple manager for the convention for New Mexico. And so because the Lottie Moon, because this is like, I'm still in training
mode.
Oh yeah. And so I totally skipped that there's like the first week in December, or like December 1st through like the 8th or something, is like prayer week for Lottie Moon. And so I didn't get the social media graphics until like December 3rd. And so I'm like, I don't want to start in the middle. And so, but yeah, I was just, and part of my job I want to is just interact as the convention. So I was just like scrolling Instagram and I'm like, oh, it's Lottie Moon's birthday. I better do a post. And so, but yeah, Lottie Moon, she's like, it's just cool to see like how dedicated she was to missions,
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that she wasn't very tall.
Yeah. Like, so the reorganizing the convention, we have two parts of it: church health and church missions. And so, in the church health side, our next gen person, whatever her new title is.
It's next gen, yeah, and
but
women's.
Something of next gen.
It's just next gen.
Okay, so Katie Parker is that, and she's a missionary kid. Her husband was an MK too. So her daughter's name is Charlotte, but they call her Lottie. So she's
Lottie
named
Moon.
after Lottie Moon.
Yeah.
And so, and she's a little kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
3rd grade.
Yeah.
And she's already taller
than the real Lottie Moon.
The original Lottie Moon.
Yeah.
And well, maybe she's this tall now.
They have like a poster of like they had a poster at the convention, and Katie posted a picture like Lottie Moon, like Lottie's taller than Lottie Moon.
Her namesake.
Yeah. So.
And then I have a friend who's a pastor, Shelby Moon.
Mm-hmm. You told me that he's like related.
Yeah, actually, so Katie's daughter is named Lottie.
Yeah.
After Lottie Moon. Shelby's daughter is named Charlotte.
Oh.
After because Lottie Moon's name was Charlotte.
Yeah. Do they call her Lottie? Shelby's
no.
daughter? Oh, just Charlotte.
I think they just call her, but she's named after Lottie Moon, and her name is Charlotte Moon, just like Lottie Moon. So they're not descendants from Lottie Moon because Lottie never got married and had kids, but they're related, in that
cool.
family tree. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. And the funny thing is he's not Southern Baptist. So
yeah.
I'm like, you weirdo. So.
But yeah, so Lottie Moon, I'm guessing we'll go till the end of December. Yeah. Is that what?
So here's I don't want to call it a dirty little secret. Here's something you should know. You can give to the Lottie Moon Christmas offering all year long.
But the emphasis is in December. Yeah.
And the cool thing about, and we're gonna have to plan stuff like this better for next year for promo. But the cool thing about when you give to Lottie Moon and then the Annie Armstrong, which is the Easter offering, all of that goes directly to supporting the missionaries. And you may say, what? Some of the other doesn't. Well, there are administrative costs that have to be handled, just like what I talked about yesterday in giving for the church. You got to keep the lights on, and so the International Mission Board and the North American Mission Board have administrative costs to keep them running. There are people that are employed by them, and it's nice to have lights and stuff. So those special offerings go directly. No administrative costs come out of those. It goes all to not missionaries' pay, but it goes all to supporting missionaries. In fact, both with the Annie Armstrong offering and Lottie Moon offering, North American Mission Board, International Missions, they couldn't do what they do without those two special offerings.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys know this. Jose probably knows. Jose probably knows more about Southern Baptist than most Southern Baptists in.
Yeah.
He tells me about stuff happening in our state all the time. We are the largest evangelical mission sending denomination in the world.
Wow.
Now, I don't include the Mormons in there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how we do. The Mormons are very works based, and so because you've had friends that were Mormons, that they part of their deal is they go on mission for 2 years. They raise their own support and stuff. So anyhow, way cool. So that's big. December. And
maybe you can we can start mentioning it on Sundays.
I should, yeah.
The Lottie Moon.
Yeah, because it really, and I know just from having been on the board for our convention, those come in, later and later. They
Yeah.
don't on the last Sunday.
On January 1st, they're like, sorry, they're not like,
Yeah.
sorry, we're not taking,
Well, So here's the deal too, and we will work with this for our church. I was the chairman of the finance committee for a few years, and one of the funny thing about that is that a lot of churches mail their stuff in. We do. They say sometimes it takes 3 weeks. They'll look at when the church, unless churches are hanging on to checks for 2 weeks and then mailing it. Some of them will take 3 weeks in the mail to get there. Wow. So they don't send it right away. They probably don't send it till February, maybe even March.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact date, but they hold off on that, knowing that churches may have waited and sent it in. And then some churches, we don't send it in because we're waiting for stuff to trickle in. So it just kind of has that. That's why the business administrator would tell us, be sure you tell your churches and other churches you can give online.
Yeah.
So we can do a ACH direct deposit, whatever that's called. Electronic transfer. That was the word that I was looking for.
Words are hard on Mondays.
I'm getting to the place that I'm searching for words anyway. That's why I need you guys around. And it's funny because I remember, and my dad, I'm older than my dad was when he passed away, so he started this younger. I remember finishing sentences from my dad, and I know you guys do the same for me all the time. I'll say, look over on the table. Yeah, look over on the table behind your coffee cup. Yeah. So anyhow, anybody else paddling in that boat where just the words aren't coming? I did hear something, or I read something a while back. I don't know if you guys take Benadryl. I mean, I didn't take any last night. My allergies are bugging me. But if you take Benadryl really often,
it like leads to early dementia or something.
It gives you symptoms of it. It starts to affect your memory, and I'm like, I can't afford for that to happen at all, for it to affect my memory.
Yeah.
But so gobnm.com, if you click on that, and it's a little funky.
Let me type it in the.
Okay, you do that.
In the comments.
Yeah. Gotta click on it. So gobnm.com, and it's they have to. You feel like you built that boat? Well, I don't know if you scroll down, go to the left. There you go. I don't know. I don't know if you realize, but that's a houseboat. I think I live in that boat.
But that also helps because that part of my job is promoting Go B&M.
What they wanted to do, they have a goal of adding an additional 200 subscribers by the end of the year. So we got a little bit left, but the reason, I mean, it will help, but I've had those cards over there forever. I just keep forgetting to put them out because that was something we talked about when I was on the board. But I want to do it because I want to connect our church more to our state convention stuff that we're doing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it helps to know that what we're doing is bigger than us.
Right. Yeah.
So
I don't know where we're at. I have to ask Kevin. So like, what's the current? How many more do we need?
Yep. And that's something we're going to press into even more. One of the things I want to do is increase the level of communication, even in our church, so that and I got a bunch of ideas on ways to do that. But so that everybody knows, I shared just a little bit of story yesterday when we prayed for offerings, that people know some of the things that God is doing, happening. We have families that are part of our church that came through our kids club,
Yeah.
And I was really careful not to mention specific names yesterday. We have a really cool family in our church. This is crazy, that a year ago, October, came to our fall festival, loved it. They didn't even live in Cloudcroft at the time, moved here, and now they're integral part of our church.
Yeah.
Because we made that connection through fall festival. So God's doing stuff. God's moving and working. In fact, I'm going to be gone in the first time in my 21-year history as pastor here. First time I can remember, I'm going to be gone the first Sunday of the year. Matt Thackerson's going to preach, so it's going to be great. He's a lot of fun. But I'm going to go, and I wouldn't do that except a young man that I knew as, I think he was in 6th or 7th grade when I first met him, and have known him and his family all this time, has been in the ministry. God's called him into the ministry, but he's being ordained as a pastor that first weekend. And it's 8 hours away. It's up near you, Vicki. It's in Aztec. So, I'll be talking with you, Vicki. I'll be there that Friday night. Maybe I can take you guys out to dinner. You can tell me some good place to go eat. Friday night, the 3rd. So anyways, he asked me at the convention, he asked me if I would be part of his ordaining council, because he's,
he's like,
he was so kind the way
he's like, I consider you like the only youth pastor I've ever had.
Yeah. Except his dad, that kind of didn't count, the way we think. So anyways, that was way cool, and honored to be able to do that. But I want people to know in our church, we want to do a better job of communicating some of the things that God is doing. Okay, so I'll try to text you. You can if you could put it on your calendar, make Daryl take the night off, or I don't know. I would say we could even go to Albuquerque, but I will have just come through Albuquerque, so let's not do that. Just God's doing some cool stuff to make sure that we know, and not just that, but to be aware of the ministries that are happening in the church. Some people may not know.
Well, and I think we've talked about this, but like my generation, even millennials, like we're very story oriented. Like we need to get behind like a cause. And so like we want, not because we're being, I'm nosy, but not because we're being nosy, but we just like to know what's happening. And so when, like that's what they do for the convention with the cooperative program. They show like the camps that it supports, the missions, like just to give people an idea of like, this is what you're giving to, and so. Yeah,
this is the impact that you're making through your giving. And for us, it could do a lot of things. One, that is so cool. We had a couple years ago that started coming to our church because he was in law enforcement, and he heard from the other law enforcement people around that we help people who are in need, kind of transients, I guess you would call that. And he thought, well, that's way cool. I'm going to go check that church out. So, it's just good to know about stuff that's happening and going on, and whether it's that we're making an impact. But the second thing is, it could be ministries people didn't know, and they might say, I want to help with that. So we want to try to do that better. And this sounds so crazy to say, we are on the verge of 2025. Wow, 2025. Here's something else too that I'll be talking about on the 12th, my first Sunday that I'll be preaching in January. Is in 2026, our church will celebrate their 125th anniversary. So we want to do something really big for that and lead up to that as we go through this next year. 125 years history as a church.
Wow.
A few things have changed in the life of the church in 125 years.
I can name a couple of just in like the 5 years.
I'm really sure they did not have electricity.
Wow.
When they first were organized.
Wow. I think it would just be cool to
we're organized in 1901.
I think it would be cool to share some of that history, like at the 125th
anniversary.
Yeah, just share, did you know that this church was built in sections,
Now that's this building. This isn't the original site.
Yeah.
The original site was down on the other end, and I want to say it was a Texas hotel. I need to read that history.
When did they move here?
As near as Jim and I can tell, I need to look at that history book again. And by the way, we've got that. We should probably digitize that and update it. Jim and I, as near as we can tell, you can correct me, Jim, if I'm remembering wrong. I think the sanctuary, which is the first building here, was built in the 50s.
Wow.
I
Was that
wanna,
like the first one, and then they added on?
Yeah, and there's a picture I need to hunt down that is from the south. Man, the town was way different back then, but it shows it was just cinder block.
I think I've seen that photo.
Yeah. And Burrow Street was like a little dirt road.
Mm-hmm.
And there used to be a gas station on Burrow Street too.
I think you posted it on Facebook.
Oh, I'm sure I did. So 125 years. That's cool. We're going to be getting ready for that. The other, I think, when they built the bless you, when they built.
Thank you.
That's the loudest I've ever heard her sneeze. Oh my goodness. Not like Hillary sneezes.
Sorry, I'm
Oh, Miss Peterstat. Oh, that's so cool. And there's more on the. Oh, yeah, that's gonna be way cool. When they built, as near as I can tell this, so our basement, the fellowship hall, the ceilings are low and the light switches. We have 4 light switches that are in the oddest of places.
Yeah.
And I was talking to a guy who like grew up here. In fact, I remember him telling me one time that he was here when they were putting electricity in town, and he tied because they were pulling the cable through, and this is back, they didn't have trucks to do it. So they had men pulling this deal, and he told them this. He was a kid at the time. He had a donkey or a horse, maybe it was a horse. He said, I can tie that on my horse and pull it. And so he actually got to pull the first electric line through town. Ended up later working for the co-op, of course, and his name is Sparky.
That's funny. Is it this picture?
That is it. So there's the original sanctuary building.
Wow. Let me see if I can
get up real close.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's backwards. It's kind of hard.
Is it? It's right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
So save that. You're good at finding stuff, man. It'll take me 30 minutes to find stuff on there. But so he said, well, the guy said that's weird that all the light switches were in weird places. And he goes, is the ceiling low? And I said, yeah. He goes, they probably, when they built the sanctuary, the fellowship hall, didn't put in electricity. He said they probably added that later. And I started thinking, and I thought, yep, they would have had to drop the ceiling to run the lines for the lights. And all of the switches are either in built out places. So they built this little stub out thing for the main one down there and ran the wires in there and put the plug in or the switch, and there's plugs at the bottom. Except for one, which they cut out a piece of cinder block. Not very well. I need to find an oversized plate for that.
Is that the one where it's just dead, like it's like hollow?
No. That's where on that picture, that's where a window used to be.
Oh, okay.
No, that's not on that picture. When they built the basement, like the window that was out on Burrow Street, there was another one that was this way before they built this building in.
So like if you're...
That's on this wall.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it was a window, but it's just like it's like a hollow
spot. Yeah, if you cut that out, that could be an access into underneath this part of the building.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's way cool. Yeah. So we're going to get a lot more in the history in 2025 as we get ready to celebrate in 2026, 125 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it'll be fun. I want to do a really big celebration for that. And
I think we could do just quarterly celebrations throughout the whole year. Because it's the year, it's not just like a month. So we can do something in March, something in June.
I already got something planned for August.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Just do stuff throughout the year.
Yeah. So way cool.
Yeah.
So I did get for August, I think I've got an August, might even be September, I don't remember. I have the slide group area reserved for the church.
For 2026?
2020. No. Yeah, I have to do it. I can't do it more than a year. So never mind. Okay, we'll prep for it. Anyhow, we are just excited. Going to be doing a lot of tweaks. The theme for 2025 is reboot. And so we even reboot the Monday morning Java in Jesus. The other 2 weeks, I think we'll leave the same. We'll
2
look
days.
at them.
Yeah.
2 days, weeks, days. So Jim tells me this, and I'm feeling it, that kind of the older you get, the faster time seems to go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no wonder for God, a day is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as a day. A day for me is as a week.
Yeah.
And a week is as a day. It seems that way, whatever that is. Let me pray for you guys, send you off into your week. So Jim and I will be on Wednesday digging into the message from yesterday, which is talking about joy. And Paul and I will be back in Friday. We hit it really good, and then we hit the holidays.
Yeah.
So let me pray for you, send you off the end of the week, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Lord, thank you. Thank you, God, for this time of year where we can maybe pause, set our hearts and minds fully on Jesus, and prepare our hearts to celebrate the birth of Jesus when you demonstrated your love for us and sent Jesus. God, I pray that we would not lose, and if we have, we'd regain the wonder and the awe that surrounds the birth of your Son. And the John describes it so well, that the Word became flesh. An amazing mystery we can't understand all that entails. But God, don't let us lose the wonder, or if we have, Lord, help us to take the time to just consider the wonder and the awe that surrounds the time that Jesus, your Son, eternally present, became flesh. And God, I pray that, Lord, you'd help us even from now till Christmas to be able to pause, to slow things down, and to prepare our hearts to celebrate Christmas, the birth of Jesus. And we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Thanks, guys, for hopping in, and we will see you Wednesday. And then I got to go through and click all the buttons all over again. Love you guys.